So I want to convince you not to start a doctoral program, not to start a PhD or any kind of doctorate until you do these things, because I think it is so important for you because you're going to get a sense of what it actually feels like to be in a doctoral program and the sort of stresses that you actually feel. So, if you don't know me, I am Professor Dave Maslach. I'm an associate professor of innovation strategy and entrepreneurship, and I created this whole reciprocity project to give back as much as I possibly can. There's so many people that help me out that I want to pay the favor for to help you out. So, I'm assuming at this moment that maybe you've just finished a master's program or you're thinking about it and you are working, or maybe you're an undergraduate student and you're thinking of going into a PhD, a doctoral program, and you're trying to figure out, is it for me? Well, this is going to save you a lot of effort and time to get into a doctoral program and all that work and stuff. And I want you to get a sense of what it actually is. So, the first thing that I want you to do before you even start applying, before you do anything, I want you to try to write a research paper on your own. I want you to sit down and actually try to do this and write a 15-page research paper that has citations, that you've gathered data somehow, that you've actually gone and did the analysis somehow, and you've actually developed something on your own. So, why do I want you to do this? So, the entire project is going to simulate what it's actually like to feel like to do a doctorate and what it feels like to be a researcher. And as a PhD, what you're going to feel like, or as a scientist, what you're going to feel like is you don't know what you're doing. You're going to feel like you don't know what the right steps are. You're going to feel like you're completely lost all the time. That is the entire process. So if you're going to complain at this moment that I don't know what to do, I don't know where to start, that's where everybody starts. All of us, every single time we start a research project, every time that we do something for the first time and we go in a certain direction, we don't know. And we have to get over that, and you get used to that feeling as you do this. So, and that's going to be one of the hardest things to deal with the process, is knowing that you have this uncertainty and you still push forward with this. So as a PhD, as a researcher, as a scientist, you're going to need to be very entrepreneurial. You're going to need to actually do things on your own. So it doesn't matter whether you are, whether you actually are, that it doesn't matter whether you don't have the resources available. It doesn't matter if you can't do things at this time because you don't have the right software. You have to figure it out. You have to get this thing done, and you're not going to have the right resources ever. You're never going to have enough. And so you have to figure out how to actually do this thing by yourself and actually create this thing by yourself. And that's how you have to do it. And you have to be a self-starter. You have to be motivated enough to actually do this. So 99% of the people are going to watch this video and they're never going to do it. But this is for the 1% that is actually going to do it. And then they're going to learn this process and figure out, yeah, this is actually how you do it. And then, the added advantage of those people that actually do it, then they have something that they can show and demonstrate when they go and apply to a PhD program, and they say that, hey, look at this. I actually did this on my own. I watched this crazy video from this crazy guy on the internet, and I actually took his advice, and I did this thing, and look what I did. And everybody would be super impressed with that fact that you actually did this thing, especially if it's somewhat okay quality. We're going to be impressed, and you have a way higher chance of actually getting into a PhD program at that moment because you actually did this. And then the other thing that PhDs and scientists have to be sort of aware of, or that they have, is they have to be just interested in things, self-interested in things, where you just kind of pursue things because you want to pursue it. So you might think that you don't have enough time. You might think that there's so much more going on out there, or I don't know where to start. You just have to do it. You have to be interested in something. So if you walk by something and somebody has a conversation, or you walk by a couple of people and they have a conversation, Well, then figure out what is interesting about that fact of you actually listening into them. That's kind of interesting that you could do that. Or you walk by some phenomenon and you just find it interesting. You just inherently think that that is interesting, and you just got to pursue that yourself. So if you can do this for a month or two in your spare time, and this is your hobby, and this is the thing that you're playing around with, and you're just kind of like a hobbyist sort of scientist or a researcher, you actually sort of complete something, you're well on your way on doing research at this moment. So if you could sit down and collect some data, it doesn't have to be much. Maybe it's 50 observations or 100 observations of something, and then you actually write this thing up because you're interested in it. I mean, you're so far along. And what I would encourage you to do in to sort of simplify your life is to think of this as like a science fair project, and think about what basic science is. And if you could do this as a grown up and you're still interested in it, I mean, that's pretty good. That's a good sign. If you can't do this and you're really struggling with it and you don't know what to do and you don't want to do it, then doing a PhD is probably not for you. And I would think that you probably should pursue something else. If you're unwilling to do this at this moment, then I would highly recommend for you to go do something else and find something else where you can be motivated and actually encourage yourself, or have somebody else tell you what to do. It's going to be a real grind because this never goes away. I've been doing this for like 20 years now. Never goes away. It's always the same story. And it's always the same story of anybody that comes into the career, that they're really struggling with this. So if you can't pick it up yourself and you don't know what to do, then you probably should try something else. And if you're not ever going to do it, then you should try something else. But if you can do it and you do this, well, then that's a really good sign. And that's a good sign that you are actually well on your way to actually doing this thing. And you probably will finish your doctoral program. You'll probably end up doing okay. So with that, give me a thumbs up. Do subscribe to the YouTube channel and spread the word about this. I think it's a cool idea. I want to see how many people actually do it. So take care and have a wonderful day. Bye.